Business Advantage Incorporated, Brian Tracy, their agents and representatives do not render any legal or professional advice. This video should not be used as a substitute for professional services. If legal or professional advice is needed, please consult with your attorney or professional advisor. Welcome to the Business Advantage Incorporated program, How to Prepare a Powerful Presentation. In this presentation, top trainer and consultant Brian Tracy provides his expertise and insight on techniques to ensure peak performance in presentations. Please call your Business Advantage Incorporated representative for over 16 programs by Brian Tracy and many other topic areas in training and development.
Hello, I'm Brian Tracy. I've given more than 2,000 public presentations in the last 16, 18 years, including to audiences as big as 20,000 in 14 different countries. I've read hundreds of books and articles on the subjects of how to design a winning presentation, and in the next few minutes I'm going to share with you some of the best ideas that I've ever learned that will help you to be much, much better at doing this sort of thing. There are three key communication tools for success in business today. The first tool is the meeting. Most people don't realize this, but a meeting is an opportunity for you to perform. Most business people spend 40% or more of their time in meetings. And the way that you organize and prepare and present and interact in a meeting is a key test for how far you go and how high you rise. The second communications tool is the written letter or proposal, which shows or proves your clarity of thought, and in a way is a presentation on paper. It's like a meeting on paper. And the third of all is the presentation, the public talk to a small group or to a large group. And what I have found is there's nothing that can help you in your career more and faster than for you to develop the competence and the ability to stand up and speak well in front of an audience. And here's the good news. Most of the best business speakers today were once terrified of speaking on their feet. We say they were so nervous they couldn't lead silent prayer in a phone booth. They were so nervous that the very idea of speaking causes their stomach to churn and their heart to pound. And they decided to learn to speak, and they followed the things that we're going to talk about in the next couple of minutes. And surprise, surprise, in as little as 6 months, they were speaking quite competently to groups of strangers. You can learn to be an excellent speaker. You can earn the respect and esteem of other people. You can accelerate your career, and you can improve your life in many ways with what you'll learn in this program. Making a speech, by the way, giving a talk, is a logical process. It's sort of like dialing a phone number. As you know, a telephone number, local, has 7 digits. If you dial the 7 digits, when you hit the last digit, the phone will ring and you'll connect with your party. The basic structure of a talk is built around 3 parts with 7 principles as well. The 3 basic parts are the opening, the body, and the close. A talk, in a way, is like a sales presentation. It's based on what we call the AIDA model, A-I-D-A, which stands for get attention, arouse interest, create desire, and ask for action. All presentations of any kind are based on those 4 steps. Get attention with something that you say or do, arouse interest by explaining the features or details of your proposal, arouse desire by showing the person how they will personally benefit from what you're suggesting, and then ask for action. In selling, we say ask for the close of the sale. In business, we say ask for them to take the action that you desire. The key to successful speaking is preparation. I have seen speakers who were terrible speakers, not very articulate, shy, not particularly outspoken, but they had prepared so thoroughly that their talks were beautiful to watch. And I've seen brilliant speakers who failed to prepare who looked awful. Preparation is 90% of a successful talk. Remember, prepare, prepare, prepare. And that last 10%, the presentation part of it, will seem to take care of itself. There's a logical 7-step process for preparing your talk, like dialing a telephone number. And here are the 7 steps. Number 1, begin with your audience. Remember, when you decide to give a talk, you're no longer as important as the audience is. Who are they? Analyze them carefully. What are their ages? What is their income? What's their education, their occupations? What are their needs or concerns, or what is their familiarity with your subject? How much do they know about your subject going in? Do they know a lot, or do they know a little? If you're talking to a group of professionals in a particular area on a business subject that they're very knowledgeable about, the level at which you speak is very different from if you were talking to a community group that had no knowledge at all. So find out who they are. What makes them tick? What are their motivations? What are their needs? What are their concerns? Then ask yourself, why are you talking to this group? What's the reason for your presentation? Why are you talking to them in the first place, from your point of view? And here's the third part of knowing your audience is, why are they listening? Why would they come at all? What do they want or need to hear from you? Remember, everybody's busy. They have 100, 1,000 things they could be doing. What do they need to get from you? Why are they listening? If you're not crystal clear about who they are, why you're talking, and why they should be listening, that's where you need to start. Second part 2 in the 7-part process is start with the end in mind. What results do you desire from this talk? Remember, you're doing it for a reason. Aristotle, the philosopher, said that all of human behavior is teleological, which means that it is purposeful. It's aimed at a purpose. There's a reason you're going through it, and it's not just to do it. It is to accomplish something. You must know that with crystal clarity. And here's the bottom line answer. The ultimate aim of all public speaking is action. It is an action that you want them to take that they would not have taken in the absence of the things you say. So, what action do you want them to take? And what one major point do you want to make that may cause them to take that action? What specific action do you want them to take after they leave your talk? And finally this, what do you want them to think and feel about you, and about the subject, about other people afterwards? When I work for a corporate client, I always ask this question. I say, if your attendees could be interviewed after my talk and ask this one question, what did you learn, and what are you going to do differently as a result? What would you want them to answer? And if the client can help me to clarify the end, where they want their people to be mentally and what they want them to do, then we can design the talk like catering a dinner. We can design the whole menu right back to the beginning to assure that we achieve that end. The third part of designing an excellent talk is to plan your opening, is to introduce the subject so that it connects to your closing. We imagine that a talk is like a circle, and it starts like a clock, and it goes tick, 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 and it comes around back to where it started again. So your opening has to be such that it sets the stage, almost like spiking a volleyball so that you hit it. The opening sets the stage and starts the ball in play, which leads to the end of the game. Here are 7 ways that you can open a talk. Number 1 is present a problem that needs a solution. Ladies and gentlemen, our sales are down while the market is growing and our competition is taking our best customers. That's a problem that needs a solution. Or, number 2, present a common goal and promise to show them how to achieve it in your talk. Everyone wants to be financially independent, but only 5% of people achieve it. In this talk, I'll show you how you can be one of the 5%. A third way that you can open a talk is to ask a rhetorical question to grab attention. How many people here want to live to be 100? Fabulous opening. Everybody raises their hand. And then you say, and I will share today some health habits that can help you dramatically increase the likelihood of getting to 100 years old. Number 4, you can make a startling statement. I heard a speaker say this once. He said, ladies and gentlemen, 72% of the people in this audience will be unemployed and out of this current job within the next 12 months. That's a startling statement. It causes everybody to relate to it personally. And then he went on to explain and talk about change and transition and downsizing and so on. A 5th way you can open your talk is to tell your own story why you're here. You could say something like, when I got into sales management, I didn't know anything about how to sell and how to manage people, and most of my best people quit within 2 months. And then I sat down and I figured out that the problem was in me. That is a very good way to open a talk if you're speaking to sales managers, because they can instantly relate to it. A 6th way that you can prepare a wonderful opening is to compare or contrast 2 things or 2 conditions. That gets people's minds really alert to the subject. For example, you could say, more people are healthy and living to be 100 today than ever before in human history, and yet more people are overweight and dying of degenerative diseases than ever before in human history. Why is this happening? Everybody is now interested and ready for your talk. The 7th way you can open a talk is to promise advantages or benefits from listening. In other words, you can say, with what you learned today, you'll be able to save 2 hours off of your productive workday, increase your income, and have more time for your family. Powerful way to get attention. There are 5 basic reasons that you would want to give a talk. You must know what the purpose of this talk is. Number 1 reason is to persuade. It's to get people to do something that they wouldn't have done in the absence of your persuasion. Persuade them to buy something if you're speaking to a group of customers. Persuade people to be more aggressive in their work if you're speaking to salespeople, and so on. Number 2 is to inform, to present new information. Information that is different from what they currently know and believe about a subject, and as a result, they will think and do something different. A 3rd reason for speaking is to entertain. There are many speakers who are just fabulous entertainers. They tell wonderful stories and jokes, and their whole job is to entertain the audience after dinner, at a luncheon meeting, in an evening, just to get them into the subject or feeling good about themselves. The 4th reason you might speak to people is to inspire, to bring hope, to bring motivation, to bring confidence. Virtually all good religious talks are to inspire and motivate. All motivational talks are to tell people that you can do it and you can be better than you are, and here's ways that you can use to accomplish more than you've ever accomplished before. So maybe you want to inspire people. And the 5th general reason is to praise. To praise people, for instance, at a meeting in the office, at an awards banquet, at a dinner meeting, at a Rotary or Business Club meeting, to praise award winners or people in the group or community or company who've done a good thing. In every case, however, the key is preparation. Now, the body of your talk, remember I said there's 3 parts. There's the opening, the body, and the close. The body of your talk is where you present your evidence. This is court. This is where you make your case. This is where you win your argument. And you must build your case with a foundation, brick by brick, so it is as solid as a wall. You build your talk around 3 main points. Some people try to use too many, and as a result, people become confused. So just take 3 points and take the 3 most important points in logical sequence, like links in a chain that follow logically to your conclusion. Use what is called the PREP formula, P-R-E-P, PREP. PREP means point of view, reasons for your point of view, examples to support your reasons, and then your point of view restated. For example, my point of view is that people can be and do more than they've ever done before. That's number 1. Reasons. Many people who started off from low beginnings have accomplished extraordinary things. That is reason. Example. Bill Gates was a dropout from college and has become the richest man in the world as a result of practicing excellent business principles, and then your point of view restated. There are more opportunities for more people to be successful today than ever before if they learn how to do it. The PREP formula. The 3rd part of the body is the transition. And transitions are very important. Transitions are where you shift gears. And a transition is where you move from one point to the other. Let us say your first point is to talk about the economy in general, and you say, as a transition, Now let's move to talking about the economy specifically as it affects you. Then you can shift later and you can say, let's move now to the third point, which is how the economy affects your business and how it will affect it in the future. A transition is important to signal that you are now shifting subjects and the person needs to move with you. The fourth part of giving a good presentation or presenting a good presentation, preparing one, is for you to use stories and examples and anecdotes and humor to illustrate each key point. Here's the rule. One point, one piece of humor. I call this the windshield wiper method. People have often asked me why it is I'm so successful as a speaker. I speak to hundreds of times, to tens of thousands of people, and I'll say that I always use the windshield wiper method. Left brain, right brain, left brain, right brain. Fact and story, fact and humor, fact and anecdote. I'm always keeping people's full brains engaged by giving a piece of information and a story. Here's the rule. When in doubt, reduce the number of facts to increase the number of stories. The close at the end of the talk is where you close strongly with a punch. And you close, and it's practiced and prepared. The close is very important. It's like the exclamation point at the end of your talk. It's where you wrap up. It's your finale. It's where you bring everything together. And there are several ways that you can close a talk effectively. You can use any one of them if the situation is appropriate. The first is close with a challenge to action. You can just simply say, ladies and gentlemen, join me in making a commitment to making this the finest community in America to live in. That's a call to action. Or you can make an inspiring statement or reaffirmation. More people are becoming successful today than ever before, and you can be one of them if you learn what to do and you persist until you succeed. Good, positive reaffirmation of your talk. Number three way to close is use a summary and a final conclusion. Our economy is great, our local economy is great, and the possibilities for you have never been greater. Thank you very much. In other words, summarize by repeating your three main points and close. The fourth way that you can prepare an excellent presentation and close is with a relevant story, a poem, a quote that makes your key point. For example, you could say, there is nothing to fear but fear itself. Thank you very much. And then you just close your talk. The seventh part of the presentation, the seventh key, is preparation. As I said before, preparation is the key to effective speaking. So write a complete outline of your talk in every bullet point detail. Don't write it out word for word, but write it out in terms of bullet points. Number two is dictate your talk onto audio cassette and then listen to it. It's amazing how much different it sounds when you hear your own voice, and you'll see ways that you could have presented it differently. Sometimes just changing the order of points increases their impact. Third, and this is very simple today, videotape your talk before a friendly audience. Give it to some of your friends at work. Give your talk to your family. And just give the talk as normally and as naturally as you can. Pretend that this is a dress rehearsal on stage and videotape it, and then sit and watch the video. Stop it and start it, and have someone that you know and trust go through it with you and critique it. You'll find things about the way you speak that you cannot even notice until you see yourself on video. Believe me, I know. I've been doing this for years, and every single time I see a videotape of a talk that I've given, I cringe because there's so many things I wasn't aware of. It's a wonderful way to get better at your talk. Another thing that you can do that I found is helpful is to tell your spouse and your friends parts of the talk. If you're going to talk about the importance of a particular subject, tell them about it the way you're planning to tell an audience. Warm up with somebody who's interested and tell them what we call bite-sized pieces of your talk and see how they respond. If they object, if they say, well, I don't understand that, or what does that mean, or how does that tie into something, rephrase it until you get it phrased so that your friends and your family understand it clearly. Remember this, if a 10-year-old doesn't understand your talk, most adults are not going to understand it as well. Here's the fifth part in preparation. It is to review and rehearse the talk in your mind. This is perhaps the most important of all, because once you have the talk, what you want to do is you want to walk through it in your mind. One of the things that many professional speakers do, including myself, is they go for long walks, and they give the talk in their mind as they walk. As they move around, take maybe 30, 60, 90 minutes, they let their minds go over the talk. When they go to sleep at night, they review the talk. When they're driving along, they go over the talk over and over and over. You cannot over-prepare to give an effective presentation. Sometimes the over-preparation and the successful results will change your entire life. Well, here's 3 rules for an effective presentation. They're a little bit funny, but especially when you're talking to business groups and you're giving short talks, here they are. Here's rule number 1. Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. Open, have a body, and a close. Number 2 is have a good opening and a good closing, and put them as close together as possible. And number 3, I think it was Golda Meir who said this, the key to effective speaking is be prepared, be brief, be seated. The key to excellent presentations is and always has been the 3 big rules: practice, practice, practice. If you plan and prepare and organize an excellent talk, you will have done 90% of the heavy lifting. The other 10% we'll deal with in another time and another place.
Thank you for watching How to Prepare a Powerful Presentation. If you would like information on other presentation products from Business Advantage, please contact your Business Advantage representative.